Here's today's Life by Design with Dr. Dan Stanley.
Dan here, and this is Life by Design. Been thinking about 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and looking at what God says through Apostle Paul to the church at Corinth, who was, in many ways spiritual, but yet moving in the flesh, so to speak. And it seems like we see a lot of that today, which, okay, everybody can see the problems, but what's the solution to that? He says this in verse 9, "We are God's fellow workers. You are God's field. You are God's building." God's building. So here's the deal. When we talk about front doors of churches and back doors of churches and how people leave, we're asking a question that has nothing to do with a physical building whatsoever. It has to do with the relationship of people to another group of people. Or in other words, it's about relationships. The relationship with God and maturity, and relationship with people in maturity. And sometimes when we look at life that way, we realize people fail us, and our expectations are different than what the output is. So I think it's very important to understand the expectations of what our expectations are of church, and maybe what the church's expectation is of us, but more importantly, what is God's expectation of how we should respond in the middle of all the relationship issues. He says that according to the grace of God, which was given to me as a wise master builder, I laid a foundation, and another is building upon it. But let each man be careful how he builds on it. You all have heard this, Dan, saying, let's be the building of God, and let's help one another stay connected and help it be built on that firm foundation, which is Jesus Christ.
Dr. Stanley is an author, pastor, conference speaker, and the founder of International Growth Institute. He's dedicated to spiritual growth and helping God's people thrive. Learn more at internationalgrowthinstitute.com.